From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Headliners. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Students, alumni, and members of the community gathered at Florida International University this week, protesting the partnership between ICE and the school. The university also officially got a new president on Monday. CBS News Miami's Terry Hornstein reports from Florida International University.
Those protesters just steps away from where that vote took place. And we spoke to some students and faculty who tell us there are some fears as the former lieutenant governor takes office.
No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state.
FIU senior Daryl Gomez protesting Monday with a group of students, faculty, and staff outside his school's Board of Trustees meeting.
Our students, especially considering we have such a large international student base, are concerned that this partnership with ICE is going to lead to more questioning of students. It's going to lead to false arrests. It's going to lead to racial profiling. Daryl
is talking about the 287G agreement between the university and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The agreement allows FIU police officers to be trained and authorized to act as ICE agents on campus.
The administration and the police department have not done a great job of really informing us about how they're going to ensure that this agreement doesn't lead to those issues.
Just steps from the protest, former Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez grilled by the Board of Trustees and then permanently appointed to the role of president at the school.
The 7th president of FIU.
Nunez served under Governor Ron DeSantis, a proponent of the 287 partnerships. Nunez, whose parents are immigrants, says she trusts FIU's chief of police with the responsibility.
He's done a phenomenal job of engaging with the community, engaging with students, making them understand that he would much rather be in control of that process than have somebody come in, an agent from who knows where, come in and manage that.
Nunez says when it comes to deportations, she will keep an eye on her students, but also follow the law.
We have a responsibility to follow the law. So certainly that is a possibility, but we'll have to monitor that situation. It's a delicate situation. I understand it.
Nunez will run a campus of about 55,000 students. Out of those, about 4,500 are international students. In Southwest Miami-Dade, Terry Hornstein, CBS News Miami.
Thousands of at-risk students from all over the country enroll in JobCore, hoping to improve their lives. The Department of Labor says the program is costing too much money and every JobCore center must stop operating. CBS News Miami's Tanya Francois spoke to the director and students at the only JobCore center in South Florida.
In a news release, the Department of Labor calls this a pause, but in an email they sent to the company operating the Miami JobCore site, it demands they cease all operations effective immediately and to send the hundreds of students they serve home.
People came here to find their purpose, and now that's kind of being stripped away from them.
Jalea Cohen is from Palm Bay. She's one of the almost 300 students who have been coming to the Miami JobCore. JobCore is the largest nationwide residential career training program in the country, helping at-risk and disadvantaged young people ages 16 to 24. Some students are high school dropouts. With the site closing, some students will now also face homelessness. Bernard Johnson is the Miami Center director.
We offer technical training, we offer college classes, we offer them the ability to get their high school diploma if they wasn't able to achieve that. And out of those students, now they're not going to have that chance to move forward.
115 staff members are being dismissed, including Victor Covington, who was also once a student.
A sucky situation for us all, because just not for the students, but also it's been staff here that's been here for 15, 20, 25 years, and now we don't know where our future is heading.
The Department of Labor sent this email to Adams and Associates, the contractor who runs the Miami JobCore site, terminating the contract completely for the government's convenience. In a separate news release, the government also says the department's decision aligns with the president's fiscal year 2026 budget. The release goes on to say, in 2024, the program operated at a $140 million deficit.
I definitely believe I've found my purpose for sure, because when I was home, I was just staying in the house, really sad, getting into situations I shouldn't have been into. And when I got here, I found a reason to exist again.
The students must all leave their sites by the end of the week. All 99 sites across the country must close by June 30th. I called U.S. Congresswoman Frederica Wilson to get her reaction to the closings, and she says she plans to testify before the Education Committee this week in an effort to save JobCore. To read her statement, as well as the news release from the Department of Labor and the email they sent to the JobCore, we are posting them all on our website at cbsnews.com. In the studio, Tanya Francois, CBS News, Miami.
8 people were injured during a flamethrower attack in Boulder, Colorado, and police say the attacker was targeting pro-Israeli demonstrators. And now, 2 South Florida cities say they are not taking any chances with anti-Semitic attacks. Miami Beach and Sunny Isles Beach are ramping up patrols at synagogues and other parts of each city to protect their large Jewish populations. CBS News Miami's Bree Buckley shares how this attack is impacting our local communities.
Well, today's a Jewish holiday, Shavuot, so many people I spoke with at temples here on Miami Beach were not able to talk to me on camera, not using electronics. But they tell me hearing of yet another attack has them heartbroken and on edge.
Not a day goes by where I'm not careful.
Lee Rosenblum from Miami Beach says he constantly worries of a random attack. He tells me he was the victim of anti-Semitism as a 14-year-old in boarding school.
The kids came into my room, put a pillowcase over my head, tied it, and proceeded to beat me up. And if that wasn't enough, they dragged me into the woods naked in 20-degree weather. And they tied me to a tree, and they beat me up some more, and took magic markers and drew swastikas all over me.
He says he was in shock hearing of another attack on the Jewish community in Boulder, Colorado. Sunday, a man allegedly threw Molotov cocktails at a march for Israeli hostages. 8 people were injured. This comes just weeks after 2 Israeli embassy staff members were shot and killed in Washington, D.C., leaving the Capitol Jewish Museum. On Miami Beach and Sunny Isles Beach, police departments increasing patrols in response, calling it a proactive measure.
But I don't look at it as something that only Jews should be upset about. I think it should be all humanity should be crying.
Dennis Kanan from Miami Beach is a former board chair for the Anti-Defamation League in Florida, saying the latest attack should be a wake-up call.
It's an infection that needs to be stamped out, and we're all in this together.
Miami Beach police say they will have the extra patrols through the holiday, which ends at sundown on Tuesday. They say if you see suspicious activity, to report it. On Miami Beach, Bree Buckley, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, see why some residents in South Florida may be able to save big on their homes annually and what lawmakers are urging elected officials to do. Next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back to our program. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. The Miami-Dade County Property Appraiser is urging elected officials to consider lowering the property tax rate and to help condo and homeowners. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor is in Southwest Miami-Dade to explain how this would work.
I think that would be fantastic if we can get our taxes reduced.
Nancy Morales wants to pay less in property taxes. She has been a homeowner in South Florida for over 2 decades. What property appraiser Tomas Regalado has announced is music to her ears.
This year, there's been sort of a surprise because after 4 years of wild growth and crazy prices, the market is stabilizing. If we do the right thing on the part of every single local government, people will be paying same or less taxes than last year.
A report for all the municipalities and unincorporated Miami-Dade reveals that property value growth from 2025 was 8.5%, 2 points less than 2024. The appraiser says, why charge people more for property taxes?
Especially in the condos that we have hundreds of thousands here, there is a crisis.
He did mention people in North Bay Village, North Miami, and South Miami are affected by assessments and other expenses.
At this point, the real estate market is not growing. The common thing will be to lower the taxes for the homeowners.
And how much do you pay in taxes for your house?
$6,000.
So any reduction would make a difference?
Definitely.
Regalado says for thousands like Morales, it's a relief long overdue.
We can always send a sign that, you know, there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel.
The property appraiser is saying that he's not telling elected officials what percentage they should reduce in property taxes from their constituents. That decision should be made, though, by September. He did say that property owners, as well as condo, should contact their elected officials and their state representatives, too. We are in Southwest Miami-Dade. Ivan Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Okay, we all love South Florida, right? From the crisp weather all year round to the culture and people in and around this community. But is it the best place to raise children? Well, researchers looked into the best and worst places to raise a family, and South Florida had some not so appealing results. CBS News Miami's Bree Buckley joins us once again with reaction from Hialeah.
I'm here in Hialeah, where the city has recently been ranked one of the worst places in the country to raise a family, a ranking that some locals disagree with.
Wrong analogy, because everybody wants to live here.
The Morel family has lived in Hialeah for decades, raising their 2 daughters here.
We actually prospered. We've grown. The city has grown since I grew up here. You know, everything has changed, and they're with the times. So honestly, I mean, I think we've raised our kids pretty well.
A new study from Wallet Hub looked at 182 cities around the country with a focus on 45 metrics on essential family dynamics, like the cost of housing, quality of local schools, and family fun. Hialeah came in at 173rd, with Miami trailing behind at 164th, and Fort Lauderdale just 1 spot above.
Affordability, Hialeah was dead last, 182nd in affordability, and that's a key metric that plagued pretty much all 3 of the South Florida cities in our ranking.
Chip Lupo with Wallet Hub was an analyst on the study and says the wealth gap for the 3 South Florida cities plays a big role too. Paige Ramirez moved here from New Jersey as a child and just graduated from Westland Hialeah Senior High.
I wouldn't want my family to live in Hialeah if I had to choose.
Why?
Just because it's inconvenient in a sense.
Lupo says there's a higher rate of divorces, families receiving food stamps, and foreclosures in Hialeah.
It's one of the most expensive places to live in the United States for the middle class.
The Morels agree on affordability, but say they won't be leaving anytime soon.
It is expensive, but you know what? Everybody wants to come here because everything is here.
Now, if you're wondering what cities top the list, Wallet Hub says Fremont, California, near San Francisco, was #1, followed by Overland Park, Kansas, near Kansas City, and Plano, Texas, near Dallas. In Hialeah, Bree Buckley, CBS News, Miami.
Okay, when we come back, see why one South Florida teacher is taking on a new education journey and why she says she's happy spending her summer days doing homework of her own. Next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. It's a sight we see all too often here in South Florida, cars stranded and submerged after a heavy downpour. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis spoke with a mechanic on how to protect your car during these downpours.
After every intense rainstorm in South Florida, it's almost a guarantee that this is the scene. Vehicles left abandoned in the middle of flooded intersections and streets. But what may seem like just a stalled engine can quickly turn into thousands of dollars in damage.
Depends on the car, so you're looking at probably from $5,000 to $20,000 depending on the car. Even more.
Jose De Verona is a master technician at Bico Auto Care. He says one of the worst mistakes a driver can make is trying to push through rising water or starting a car that's already been flooded.
You let the water recede, you call a tow truck to tow it out of there, but don't try to start it. Don't turn on the ignition to power up the other electronics, you know. You want to minimize the damage. So if you try to start it or turn on the ignition, you know, you're just going to cause more damage.
Simply put, water in the engine means you'll have damage. And according to a AAA spokesperson, Mark Jenkins, your standard auto insurance coverage may not cover flooding unless you have additional comprehensive coverage. De Verona says this time of year they have significantly more people coming in with water damage.
A little Honda or Nissan. Engine at the junkyard is going to run probably like 3 or 4, and then the labor to get it in.
So you're looking at a minimum of $5,000 to $6,000.
Yeah, easy on a cheap car. So take that to consider.
The best defense? Avoid parking in low-lying areas, steer clear of flooded roads, and know exactly what kind of coverage your insurance has before the next storm hits. In Miami, Trish Christakis, CBS News, Miami.
This week's edition of All New Miami Proud is about a teacher who will spend her summer doing homework thanks to her students and an international fellowship. CBS News Miami's Tanya Francois visited her classroom to learn why her students feel she is so deserving of this honor.
5 National Geographic Grosvenor Teacher Fellow.
Dr. Precious Simonette really likes being a teacher.
I want my students to be proud of me.
And proud they are.
It's a certain type of comfort you get from her as a teacher that you don't get from many teachers that you've met. And she's just one of those special gems.
I think Dr. Simonette could honestly serve as my second mother at school. There'd be times like I do a lot in school and sometimes it gets really overwhelming for me and she's always there for me.
Dr. Simonette teaches various writing courses at Miami-New Orleans Senior High. She says by allowing teenage emotions, thoughts, and feelings to leave their hearts and minds to be placed onto paper is how she's able to get her students to open up, and it's easy to see just how much she really cares.
I like to see my students shine, especially when I know their stories. And I think that's probably the thing that I carry the most in my heart is when I know students, I know them, I know their stories, I know their struggles, and I want to be a part of not only the things that make them feel bad, but the things that make them feel great.
This is part of what makes Simonette so accomplished. Back in 2016, she was named the Miami-Dade County Teacher of the Year. There's been lots of awards and accolades in between, including the latest. This year, she was named the 2025 National Geographic Grosvenor Teacher Fellow.
It was a moonshot moment. Like, I never thought that I would be selected. I was like, yeah, Precious, you got like a lot more work to do. And then, when you get there, maybe you get your opportunity.
She'll spend this summer in Iceland learning about, of all things, the Vikings, which coincidentally also happens to be Miami-New Orleans mascot. Her students have also given her a complete to-do list. See, these tables have turned. It's the teacher who now has homework.
So they have completed an activity called 3-2-1. 3 things that I should look for while I'm in Iceland, 2 things I should do, and a question that I should ask the people when I come in contact with them.
Simonette says she'll take part in science experiments, do a polar plunge, and also go to Greenland. She says it's these experiences that become tools she uses to take learning to new levels. It's her students who ultimately gain the most. In Miami Gardens, Tanya Francois, CBS News, Miami.
Her students are very lucky. And thanks for joining us this half hour in Headliners. As always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great day.